You're watching Omaha Bound, inside the Men's College World Series.
Welcome into another episode of Omaha Bound. We've got a fantastic show planned out for you today. First off, we recap just an unbelievable first day of the Men's College World Series. 2 games that came down to the 9th inning. You really can't ask for much more than that. Afterwards, we go in depth on one of the best first-round contests you're ever going to see at a Men's College World Series. We get an LSU perspective, and we get an Arkansas perspective of Saturday's game, Saturday night's game at Charles Schwab Field, the nightcap of the first round. It's going to be unbelievable. Brian Holland joins the show to talk LSU. Courtney Mims joins the show to talk Arkansas. We've got in-depth stories from both sides there. But first off, let's talk first-round action from Friday. And it began with just a fantastic game between Arizona and Coastal Carolina, a rematch of the 2016 National Championship. Coastal Carolina took that in 2016 for the program's first national championship, and they took the first game of the 2025 Men's College World Series as well. 7-4, Coastal got it done, powered by a 3-run 8th inning to jump out in front and then closed out some Arizona trouble as well. Coastal now has won 24 straight games, rolling at the right time and rolling into the second part of the Men's College World Series.
We've got a dugout full, bunch of hungry and humble dogs. And, luckily for us today, we just executed a couple more pitches than they did. But you can clearly see how that team went to Chapel Hill and won 2 games. It's a really good team. They took a lot of really good swings today, and Wells ran down a couple balls in center field. We were able to induce a big double play, and again, we were able to get a couple big hits when it really mattered.
It goes into preparation from our coaches, but I think it's just the mentality that we have in the dugout. I think, like Blake was saying, and we can trust our pitchers to keep us close in the ball game. We can relax and we can trust the process. And I don't think any of our lineup guys are getting nervous or feeling too much under pressure. We're just going up there with the same plan and same consistency, and just attacking the plan.
Coastal just playing unbelievable baseball right now. The longest win streak in college baseball history coming into the Men's College World Series. It just got 1 game longer. Somehow the second game of the day found a way to top it though. Oregon State and Louisville, the Beavs, back in the Men's College World Series for the first time since 2018, and they brought back the late game dramatics just like they did in 18 as well. A walk-off by Gavin Turley after Louisville tied the game at 3. The Beavs take it 4-3 in dramatic fashion to set up a matchup with Coastal Carolina.
Proud of the way the guys punch back. It seems to be more and more evident this is true character by the way our guys continue to fight. Both pitchers outstanding out the gate and very difficult at-bats, and so very tight ball game, and those are the ones that you want to have because it brings out true character in guys. And even after the 9th inning, excitement, to turn around, get back in the dugout and watch how these guys interacted with one another and showed true faith in the guy who was going up to the plate, the guy behind him, the guy next to him. Up and down the dugout, it's like, sweet, this is how it's supposed to be for us.
Yeah, it was cool because it's the same thing every at bat for us. It's go up there and compete and try to hit the ball hard, and knowing that we had the top of the lineup up, I knew we had a real shot to do something dangerous. And as soon as Iva got on, opened a lot of possibilities up with the runner on first. So yeah, just getting in there and trying to get a good pitch to hit and hit it hard and let the game play itself out.
So there you have it, the Beavs and the Shots in the winning part of the bracket, and then battling to stay in Omaha. Well, that would be Louisville and Arizona trying to stay alive in Omaha. 2 really talented teams. You couldn't ask for 2 better games to start the College World Series. And coming up today, we've got one of the best on-paper games that you'll see in round 1. Arkansas and LSU, and we're going to hit a quick break, but when we come back, Brian Holland joins the show to break down all things LSU. Stick with us. Welcome back into Omaha Bound, joined now by Go Nation Sports Director Brian Holland. Brian, before we start previewing what is the marquee matchup of the first round of the Men's College World Series, let's talk a little bit about just how crazy this fan base is, just how awesome this LSU fan base is. There is a pretty large evidence of that out on the street in Omaha.
Well, most people know about Rocco's.
Yeah.
They had to change their whole layout to add just a shot room for the Jello shots. It used to be a party room.
Yeah.
So LSU fans, they know how to get the party going. Well, apparently they brought the party here. We were kind of taken aback at the send-off when we saw this giant Mike the Tiger just show up, 13 feet high, 5 inches, because to be street legal, it's got to be under 13.6. So they know. It's Mardi Gras World down there in New Orleans, and they know how to make them. And they store them there. Credit to them. They brought it all the way up to Omaha at very slow speeds. Took like 2.5 days to get it up here. Took 6 months to make. And I guess just take a look at kind of what I found out there on the street, as you did as well.
Crazy to see this thing on a highway, you know? I mean, you can see carnival rides going down the road. You always look at it and just say, okay, this is a giant tiger going to Omaha from New Orleans. It's like, okay. They said they got a lot of looks, a lot of looks. You can put as many as 16 to 18 people on the top of it.
So it's a true carnival ride.
Yes, it's a float. Yeah. It's a float. It's not just a tiger. So it's got multi-use. If you go up against it, it's fiberglass. Now the eyes blink on it, the lights blink on it, and it roars.
Okay.
Then they've got to do all the paint work on it. And you can see, I mean, that's little wires, it's the whiskers, but solid. I mean, it didn't do anything coming down the highway.
You didn't get pulled over at any point in the trip, did you?
And that's interesting because you would have thought just they could take pictures, the police and everything. But no, he said he never got pulled over. He stopped. He stopped at rest areas and he stopped in the hotel and he parked it. And it's here now, so it stays out here for a couple of days. But now with people here, you can see a lot of people, even fans of other teams, that really do appreciate the size of this and the magnitude because it's huge. I mean, LSU fans love it. As one, I get it. I'm one.
All right, so apparently it's not just going to be for baseball events. They made it for baseball and coming up to the College World Series. You could see it on Victory Hill if you go down to Baton Rouge and watch LSU and the Hogs. Look, roll it out for all the sports. Roll it out for the national championship parades, whatever you got.
Exactly. I like the fact you told me before we hopped on here, you can ride on it, Mardi Gras.
Yeah, there's going to be like a space for like 15 to 20 people back there. I mean, they know how to do carnival season, so you got to be able to ride up there too.
The full experience, how you know that they know how to do this right, is the fact that they knew the exact dimensions in order to make this thing street legal.
And I still can't get over that it roars as well. It's got sound effects. They did it right.
It is impossible to miss. If you make your way to Omaha, you will have no problem finding it if you are anywhere around the stadium. Brian, let's talk a little bit about the baseball on the field tonight. The game that so many people are looking forward to, because I've said this phrase time and time again, so is just about everybody when talking about this game, but it's a first-round Men's College World Series game, and yet it has all the feel of a championship series contest.
No, it really does. And you feel like whoever loses this one, unfortunately, they're going to find their way back to that winner's bracket, if you will, the other side to maybe go to the College World Series finals. And it kind of feels like it may be these two at the end. You start it and you end on this side of the bracket with these two. A lot of familiarity there, so can't wait to watch it. Should be a really good pitching matchup.
Yeah, pitching is where I think you start with this one. When these two teams met in Baton Rouge, it was wacky, as it always is, with these two squads. Arkansas and LSU starting game 1 at 10 p.m., finishing at about 2 a.m. But pitching, with this game, it's going to be interesting where each team goes, but regardless, you're going to have two first-round arms starting this game.
Yeah, we were talking to Kyle Peterson with ESPN about this, and Stanford pitcher, major leaguer. And he said, I can't wait to watch it in person because he didn't get to see the first one. And then he said, two of the best left-handed arms, and then stopped himself and goes, no, two of the best arms overall in the country. And I think that says a lot, and a lot of respect from a guy like KP. And you talk about, if you're an Arkansas fan, you go, why should we be afraid of seeing Cade Anderson again? We know what he's like. We can maybe get to him this time. I would say the one thing that has plagued Cade Anderson in the big games is solo home runs. So he doesn't give up a lot of runs, but he'll give up the eventual shot. He's a strikeout pitcher. He's going to run it up there as far as number of pitches, a lot more than even Root. He's going to get more Ks, but he's given up more home runs, and that's been the one bugaboo for him. The one thing that maybe is working in LSU's favor is you and I saw out there at the ballpark, the flags are coming in. This could be a big ballpark when the wind is blowing in across the plains. So I think if you're an LSU fan, you're hopeful that continues, because that's going to keep some of those home run balls in, and it's going to keep it closer. The one Achilles heel that he has, maybe doesn't rear up here in that first game.
It's a great point. You know, we thought low scoring just from the standpoint, obviously, of the quality of arms, but when you factor in the ballpark, you factor in the wind, that's where it becomes small ball. Maybe it's the answer for both of these squads. Talk to me a little bit about the LSU offense, a group that at times was rolling initially in that regional and then had a bit of a scary stretch there, resulting in a Game 7 in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, look, they've averaged 10 runs a game in the postseason, so it's looked on paper like it's better, and it has been. You've got guys like, and if I'm an Arkansas fan, I would file this name away. Stephen Milam. He's a sophomore, true sophomore. They call him Monster, and he's kind of a singles hitter, but he's that guy in the 6, 7, 8 hole that makes the huge difference to get it to Stanfield, who's really a leadoff hitter at 9, and then that turns over the lineup. If all of a sudden they get momentum with a bat like Milam, who was not going in the SECs, and they get him going like they did early in the postseason and here in the College World Series, then I think that LSU offense keeps rolling. If not, you know, they can win in different ways. But look, no matter what team you're talking about relief pitchers at the end of the day, probably going to make the difference. In that 6, 7, 8 hole, what do they do down the stretch as well?
I'll ask you this. If LSU wins Saturday, if LSU is to win the national championship, what has to happen?
If they're going to get got, okay, do it in this regional type format where you have to win 3 times and you go home, you lose 2. Because if you end up in the finals or in a 3-game series and they're throwing number 1 and number 2, you know, like Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson, I don't know which one is better right now. They're both on a roll. So don't get into that 3-game series. So maybe from the Arkansas perspective, that's a really good thing. Because now you're going to get in, if you can get into that bullpen and then see them later, then you're not going to see Anthony Ianson. And then you're probably not going to see Cade Anderson unless you're talking about, you know, a Monday game. So maybe that's the good news for Arkansas fans is you only have to face one of those guys once as opposed to, you know, a College World Series Finals. You're going to see him twice, and maybe it's over before you even get to the 3rd game.
Regardless, it should be a heck of a matchup. LSU and Arkansas, 6 p.m. Saturday night in round 1. That is Brian Howland. Brian, thanks so much for joining. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we're back on Omaha Bound, Courtney Mims joins the show, and we dive into Cam Koel and his homecoming. Stick around. Welcome back into Omaha Bound. We're joined once again by Courtney Mims. And Courtney, what's so fun about the College World Series is this is obviously the peak, the pinnacle of college baseball. This is the goal for everybody, but for one Arkansas player, this is just a little bit more special.
Well, yeah, Jacob, it's special for Cam Koel, one of the Arkansas Razorbacks, because Omaha is his home. He grew up around the College World Series. He grew up going to this ballpark, watching the games here, going to Rosenblatt, the old stadium. His dad works as part of the grounds crew and has for so long. And so this isn't just the College World Series to him. This is everything to Cam Koel and his family. And I got a chance to catch up with them ahead of Arkansas's practice on Friday because actually they practiced at Cam Koel's old high school in Millard South. He got to go out on his old field. There were some memories there for him. It was exciting to not only practice there, but bring his teammates to a place that meant so much to him and started his baseball journey. When I talked to his family, they were overjoyed he was here. And so here's exactly what they had to say about that. Omaha, the mecca of college baseball, the greatest show on dirt. But to Arkansas second baseman Cam Koel, it goes by another name, home.
When we touched down at Happily yesterday, I had to put my glasses on. I didn't want my teammates to see me, so.
It was even more emotional for him today as the team went out to his old stomping grounds, practicing at Millard South High School.
They're like, where the heck are we going? When we left the hotel, they thought it was a far drive out here, but it was really cool. I think it's kind of a full circle feeling to have your old teammates and then now your current team together, so it was really cool.
Koel not just surrounded by former teammates, but his family too. As soon as he got off the bus to take the field, his siblings rushed to him, his mom describing it the only way she knows how.
Surreal. Matt started working at the College World Series. I think I was pregnant with Camden that summer when he started. And so to be here now, especially like when they were playing wiffle ball in the backyard, that's what they were pretending they were doing. They were at the College World Series.
Like Cam's mom said, the College World Series much more than just an event in their hometown, as Cam's dad has worked on the grounds crew at Rosenblatt Stadium and now Charles Schwab Field.
He spent a lot of time at Rosenblatt actually with his Uncle John, because I was always working, and we would go sneak on there when the stadium was empty a few times and do that. But most of the time I would just go up there for a couple innings when somebody else would bring him and talk to him. And he just spent basically his whole childhood in a AAA ballpark, in a AAA clubhouse, and those times were pretty precious for me and him.
So how will he handle this year's event now that his son is playing in it?
I'll probably watch games a little closer than I have in the past.
The Koels are so excited to watch Cam play in the stadium he's grown up in, but now that he's here, it's hard to not think about the possibility of him fulfilling a lifelong dream by winning it all.
I'll just be really proud of him because, I mean, he's been around college baseball since he was 4 years old. And it'd just be very cool to see him win. It'd be special to me because I've just watched him since I was a little kid, looked up to him for such a long time.
For Cam, he's not thinking about that championship series just yet. He's stopping and taking in the moment, one game at a time.
I'm just trying to soak it all in. Take this week or 2 weeks. I want to be here for 2 weeks. Take it as slow as possible. Write stuff down. Just take it slow. Take deep breaths, soak in the memories, and live in the moment.
And Jacob, you know, that's what this event is all about. It's not just about being here, winning a national title. That's the end goal for all of these teams, but it's also about family, friendship, the team aspect of it. And Cam getting to bring his teammates back to his old stomping grounds was a really special experience.
It's a reminder of why this event is so special, to your point. We saw him come in with his family, with his siblings, right? And I just wonder what that opportunity for him to be at his high school before a College World Series game, that must have been the most incredible experience for him. And again, a reminder of why this event is special and why it means a little bit extra to a guy on an Arkansas team thousands of miles away.
I love the attitude that he has as well, right? Because it's this entire team that has had it all season long. And what makes them just a special team in general, Jacob, is the fact that they're together, the camaraderie. And you could see that his teammates were really enjoying the fact that they got to go practice out on that field today, that they got to see the kids waiting for them after practice had finished, asking, oh, can we get a signature from Dave Van Horn? Can we get a signature from Ryder Helfrich? The reason why they know those names, Cam Koel. And that, to me, is just such a beautiful thing.
It's a great way to put it, and I can't imagine what it was like for those players, for that coaching staff to say, hey, we have the #3 team in the entire country practicing on our field. But that's a perfect segue to talk a little bit about Arkansas. We talked with Brian Holland about LSU before the break. This is the primetime matchup, the matchup that everybody was looking forward to when the schedule came out. We've said it time and time again, it feels like a championship series, and we get it in the first game of the College World Series. Give me a couple storylines you're looking at from the Arkansas perspective heading into what should just be an unbelievable environment.
Well, you're looking to keep the momentum, right? Because they have done so incredibly well after the SEC tournament, going into regionals and then super regionals. 5-0.
Undefeated.
I don't think anybody, if you had asked me weeks ago, right, when they were on a lull, when they had lost 3 series in a row, I would have said, no, not going to happen for this team. They couldn't do that. There was going to be some bumps in the road. There hasn't been any bumps in the road for this team thus far. So you're looking to keep that momentum. I think another huge storyline for us as well going into this matchup is pitching. That has been a storyline all season long, and it's been shaky starting pitching. Not in the postseason, though. We haven't seen that. Do we see Zach Root falter in this game 1 against LSU, or does he come out like he has in those previous outings? I really want to see some really good starting pitching. I'd like Zach Root to do that. I'd also like to see the bullpen come in and do what they've done all season long. Jacob, they're one of the best bullpens in the country. They need to keep that up. Everybody needs to keep going like they have been. Do what they have been doing, because that's been working for them.
Exactly. And all of those guys, the atmosphere that we are going to see in this building Saturday night between these two squads, it's going to really be unmatched from what we've seen throughout the College World Series. Arkansas players talked about just how excited they are to get a glimpse of that on Saturday.
Man, I'm pumped up, and I know a lot of the other guys on the team are. To be able to play another SEC team first round and in the biggest environment in college baseball, it kind of means everything to you. Going back to what I was talking about earlier, you know, as a kid, this is kind of something that you dream of.
We're excited, you know. there's a massive history there between both teams, the rivalry behind it, and both fan bases. They're gonna show out. I think it was like Bobby was saying yesterday. It's like combining the box and bomb, just bringing those two atmospheres together. It's gonna be awesome, and we're gonna feed off it. I know they're gonna feed off it. It's gonna be an absolute battle to the end. Every single out, every single pitch is gonna matter tomorrow, and we're gonna go out there. We're gonna give it our all.
Courtney, what I love from the Arkansas perspective, at least, is that the Razorback players understand the magnitude of this matchup. They're not talking about should this have been reseeded. Man, I wish we were going to play somebody else. They're embracing the fact that this is a rivalry matchup, that it might be the two best teams in the field, and that we get it in the first game of the College World Series.
Well, I think that speaks to this Arkansas team, because let's talk about it. I mean, Dave Van Horn mentioned it just yesterday in the press conference. He went, look, we came second in the SEC to Texas, a team that we swept. Yeah. We swept them, and we couldn't beat them and we couldn't take the SEC title from them. That shows how tough that league was. They've been battle tested through the entire season. They would go every weekend. They'd be like, oh wow, another SEC team, another ranked opponent. I mean, it just they were ready for it, and so I think that it kind of excites this team a little bit that they get one of the toughest teams in the field off the bat. They're excited to get another crack at LSU. I just hope, Jacob, and I'm going to say this right now, that game starts at 6 o'clock, right? I've heard from the meteorologist it's going to be beautiful skies, right?
Clear skies?
Clear skies, okay? But if there is any sort of weather delay, I don't like Arkansas's chances. LSU has proven time and time again that if this is a late starting game, they're going to do something. They're going to do something. So I think it bodes well for Arkansas. 6 p.m., clear skies. They're going to get a nice crack at it.
It's going to be a party. When you talk about these two fan bases, I would say, I don't think it's crazy. Two best baseball fan bases in the entire country?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no... I don't want to hear it from anybody else. Seriously. Because
no arguments.
These are the two best fan bases. If you go to Omaha, and I was here last year, just as a fan, just enjoying the College World Series, everybody who I went up to in bars said, you know, the two teams we miss in the field, number one, LSU. They give LSU number one. Number two, Arkansas. They said those are the two teams we want in the College World Series every single year.
I got them game number one, so I'll put you on the spot Saturday night. I'm not going to make you give me a College World Series prediction, but who wins Saturday night, 6 p.m., 3-seed versus 6-seed, Tigers and Hawks?
You know, my dad's been a college basketball coach for a very long time.
All right.
And he told me something long time ago, and he said, when you're in the postseason, throw out the stats. Throw out those papers, right? Because what's going to fuel you is these guys wanting to win. Arkansas has a lot fueling them. LSU's won it. In recent years, 2023, you know, they've won it. They've been here. Arkansas's never done that. These players, these guys on this Razorback squad want to win it for DVH. He deserves it. He said not too long ago to the Creighton coach, I don't have long left. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to bring it up. Sorry. He said he's not going to have much longer, right, until he's retiring too. He's got to do it. And I feel like they can, and it starts with beating LSU on Saturday night. They're going to beat them. I'm going to say final score 6-3.
6-3. That prediction makes sense when you got two first-round arms on the mound. But, man, this is a matchup. I don't care how many times I've said it. I'm going to say it again. It feels like a championship series matchup. Fans all around the country are blessed to have it in round one. A lot to look forward to on Saturday. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about it. But that's going to do it for today's edition of Omaha Bound. For Courtney Mims, I am Jacob Morris. We'll be back to talk to you tomorrow.